I mean, there's no question, Carl. The results were excellent. You have to remember that historically, Labor Day is a difficult opening holiday. It's by far the lowest performing holiday. The best performance domestically ever for Labor Day was $30 million, a Halloween movie several years ago. This one did $90 million domestically over the 4-day weekend and $135 million globally. And for IMAX, we did 10% of that on a worldwide basis. It blew away our expectations. I mean, no one was whispering anything like that. And I think it just goes to show, no matter what weekend it is, if there's a really good movie, really good content, and it's delivered exclusively to theaters, people want to come out. There's a lot of pent-up demand, and it was really encouraging how many people came out this weekend.
Yeah, and now we're going to start talking more about Bond and eventually Top Gun Maverick. But I'm curious, you do say the distribution that's gone hybrid and the piracy, which I know is a big thing for you as well, and for our parent Comcast, has obscured the pent-up demand among moviegoers for the cinema. So I guess the question is, do you think the pendulum is swinging the exhibitors' way, and which studios are going to lead that?
Well, it's a great way to put it, Carl, about the pendulum. I think people don't understand how important the last week was, because you not only had Shang-Chi showing how valuable a day-and-date theatrical release is, but you also had Sony on the Monday announcing that Venom is going to move up 3 weeks. It was supposed to come out after Bond, and now it's coming out on October 1st. So I believe this is the first time that people have moved movies up, and there's no question in my mind that the results of Shang-Chi influenced that. You also have Bond holding. There was an holding its date in early October, so there was an uncertainty before that about whether Bond would move and whether movies were in place. But in fact, the fact that Bond reconfirmed that date, those three things together, I think this is an inflection point. Now, we've all been in this game of chutes and ladders for too long, where you get close and then you go down. But I do think, absent another variant or a change in the health situation, we've finally seen the pendulum turn. And then you go on, later in the fourth quarter with Eternals from Marvel, and after the Bond film, Spider-Man and Dune and a lot of other things. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good from here.
Rich, it's Morgan. I just want to go back to something you said. You talked about pent-up demand for the holiday weekend. I mean, at a time where we're certainly hearing it from Wall Street economists and analysts, the concerns about Delta and the impact on economic growth, the impact on consumer confidence, the impact on basically the rest of the year and the jobs market. Are you saying that consumers, at least consumers that are coming to your theaters, are not so concerned about coronavirus right now?
I mean, of course they're concerned, Morgan. They're human beings. But I think when a theater is, most people are wearing masks. It's a passive experience. It's not like a live event where people are talking or spitting, or even a sports game where people are screaming and high five. It's sort of a pleasant social experience where the risks are fairly low. I think you also have to look at the age group that goes to theaters. It's mostly younger people, and those people have a much different behavior pattern than older people. So I think it has a little impact, but the pandemic's been going on now for over a year and a half. And in places where people feel safe and countries where it's safe, the results have been there. I think the pent-up demand has been a little bit masked in the United States because of the hybrid or day-and-date deliveries and piracy, which Carl asked you about. I think that's obscured the demand because people have sort of said, hey, we could just watch it at home, or we could rip it off on one of these pirate services. But this is the studio said this is an experiment. I think there's an answer to the experiment where you release it with a theatrical window, and it's a good movie. People are going to come, and they're going to come in pretty good numbers. Rich. And in Shang-Chi, record numbers.